In the headlines, Wike Otom challenged President Buhari to name governors stealing local government funds. Dogara aggrieved Northern APC members adopt Atiku as candidate. Federal government pledges to reduce Nigeria's reliance on borrowing. And on the international scene, Uganda discharges last known Ebola patient, raising hopes. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining us, and now the news in detail. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says he's not one of the state governors that President Muhammadu Buhari accused of dipping their hands into local government funds received from the federal account. Governor Wike was reacting to allegation led on Thursday by President Muhammadu Buhari at a parley with members of the Senior Executive Course 44 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. The Rivers State Governor spoke at the inauguration of Ugbo Simini Ring and internal roads in Ruemene, Kingdom of Obiakpo local government area. And he said President Buhari's accusation was an unfair generalization and urged him as a true leader to tell Nigerians those governors pilfering council funds. Performing the inauguration of Ugbo Simini Ring and internal roads, Governor of Benue State Samuel Otom aligned with Wike in his call on the president to name the governors misappropriating council funds.
I want to challenge Mr. President, you're a leader, and we believe as leader, you must come out and tell Nigerians who are those committing this offense. You said the governors are taking local government. Don't say people are doing bad. Who are those who are doing that bad? Mention their names. It is a logical fallacy to say that all governors are criminals. All governors are stealing from local government. I joined Governor Wike to say from 2015, let EFCC come in, let ICPC come, let every other agency that can unearth this as far as Benue State is concerned, let them bring it out.
The All Progressives Congress Northern Christian leaders, led by immediate past Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, and former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, has adopted the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, as its candidate of choice ahead of the 2023 presidential election. The group of aggrieved APC members had openly rejected their party's same faith ticket, which saw the emergence of Bola Tinubu and its presidential candidate and Kashim Shettima as his vice, both of whom are of the Muslim faith.
According to the report presented by the Northern Leaders Technical Criteria Committee, it had become important to select a candidate and a party whose ticket showed experience, balance and inclusion, hence their decision to go with the PDP and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar.
After a careful evaluation of all issues highlighted above, we hereby recommend for the adoption of the PDP to all lovers of democracy in Nigeria for the 2023 presidential election.
There were 4 parties that were considered. The PDP presidential candidate is a well-known talent hunter who has demonstrated capacity to hunt highly experienced talents across different sectors and bring them into government.
The leaders added that the country had had enough of challenges as it is and would not support any party or candidate who disregards the current realities, and this is why they have rejected the APC ticket.
The APC, as we all know, has fielded the same fate, Muslim ticket, and the forum hereby calls on all lovers of democracy, peaceful coexistence, unity, and religious harmony to reject the ticket in its entirety.
The truth is that if good people like you and I do not rise up to stop them, they will truly succeed in destroying this nation that we cherish so much. So we have an obligation to rise against those dangerous voices of hate and stereotype. And not just to rise against them, but to quieten them.
We will no longer allow politicians to divide us in order to achieve what they want to achieve for their own interests.
Some other notable members of the Northern Leaders Consultative Forum include former Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, Muktari Shagari, former Governor of Kogi State and Deputy Governor Idris Wada and Simon Achuba, former Minority Leader Umara Kumalia, among others. Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now to Osun State, where it said that some of the new decisions are taken by the new governor of the state is resonating well with some people in the state. The people of Ire town on Friday applauded the decision of the new governor to remove their new traditional ruler, Oba Raphael Ademola. The kingmakers, ruling families and indigents of the town say that the former governor Adigboyega Oyetola imposed a dethroned monarch on the town. Hamid Oyegbade fastened this report.
The controversy trailing the dethronement of the new traditional ruler of Ire town in Osun State has assumed a dangerous dimension. Actionists have set the Are Palace ablaze. The new governor, Ademola Adeleke, nullified the appointment of the monarch, Oba Raphael Ademola Olukonle, and directed security operatives to take charge at the palace. But the burning of the palace does not indicate that the people are opposed to the new governor's decision. On the contrary, kingmakers, representatives of royal families and indigents are standing with the new governor as they accused the former governor, Adegboyega Oyetola, of imposing the dethroned Oba. One of the kingmakers, Sanusi Babawale, says he resisted attempt to compel him to endorse the selection process of the dethroned monarch. The agents of former governor came to my house when I was eating. They told me to sign papers for the selection of the dethroned Oba, but I did not sign. Representatives of royal families and the leader of women in the town are all in agreement that Governor Adeleke's decision on the RA stool is appropriate.
The governor of Osun State have already directed us that they don't want all these Yeye Obas, that is to cancel it. They tell us to close the palace.
Our own ruling house, Oduayagaga, we are not happy about what is happening. Because the judgment of the court is what we are following.
So the kind of Oba that they impose on us, we don't want him. We don't want him at all, because the way he was selected is against the tradition, culture and custom of Ireland.
It is mourning situation now, so we cannot bring out drums. We will bring out drums when they do it in the right way. The people of the town are appealing to the new governor to be fair and follow due process in the selection and appointment of the new Oba for the town. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
And away from Osun State, police in Zamfara State have arrested 7 suspected terrorists, including a gun runner who has been transporting arms and ammunition to a terrorist kingpin identified as Dawa. In the course of making the arrest, police personnel in collaboration with vigilante rescued 15 kidnapped victims who were abducted at Dika village in Funtua local government area of Katsina State. The report.
First take. The suspected female gun runner, Gaje Abdullah, is an indigene of Madachi village of Katsina State, northwest Nigeria. Information implicated her in the supply of arms and ammunition to a terrorist leader named Dawa, who has been tormenting innocent citizens in Zamfara State and its neighboring states. The 6 other suspects were arrested for pretending to be terrorists and imposing levies on their host communities, extorting millions of naira through an account which they created for the purpose.
This time around, we have about 7 suspects. 6 is for banditry, intimidation, threat, and extortion of innocent communities.
The Police Public Relations Officer Superintendent Muhammad Shehu explained that police tactical operatives and vigilante acted on intelligence that 15 persons were abducted by suspected terrorists at DK village in Funtua local government area of Katsina State. He said the police then quickly mobilized to the location and conducted search and rescue operations at Sabongari, Roots and Kaura Forest in Denjiba, district of Afe local government area of Zamfara State, and successfully rescued the 15 abducted victims, Hale and Haithi.
And this effort, or this reiteration, can be seen through various commitment and determination of the police command by arresting notorious criminals who have been terrorizing the people of Zamfara State, recovering numbers of arms and ammunition, and also rescuing kidnapped victims.
The Commissioner of Police, CP Kolo Yusuf, has commended the police operative and vigilantes for their successful rescue operations and reiterated command's continuous determination to rid the state of criminal activities and apprehend criminal elements in the state.
The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, has withdrawn the case against Aminu Muhammad, a final year student of Department of Environmental Management, Federal University, Duterte. Muhammad, who hails from Azare in Bauchi State, was arrested by the police over a tweet that appeared to mock Mrs. Buhari. Muhammad was arraigned on a 1-count charge by the police before Federal High Court, a Federal Capital Territory High Court on November 30. And after taking his plea, the defendant was remanded in prison custody. At the court session on Friday, Fidelis Ogbobe, prosecution counsel, told the court that the First Lady decided to withdraw the case following the intervention of well-meaning Nigerians. Citing Section 108 to subsection 2A of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, Ogbobe also moved an application for the withdrawal of the case. Delivering his ruling, Yusuf Halilu, the presiding judge, commended the First Lady for taking the bold step to withdraw the case. While issuing the defendant's release warrants, the judge urged parents to endeavor to always be aware of their children's activities. You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Asir Nnamdi Azikiwe chapter protest over unpaid salaries. Details of this report and more after the break. To stay with us.
As part of security measures in place to ensure a secure resumption of the Abuja-Kaduna train route, the federal government has directed that the use of the National Identity Number, NIN, is now compulsory for passenger profiling when boarding the Abuja-Kaduna train service. All intending train passengers are to note the new ticketing guidelines. Existing profile owners are required to update their profiles with their NIN. Failure to update will reflect the profile as unverified. Where a profile is not verified, the intending passenger will not be able to purchase a ticket. All new profile registration will now require passengers to include their NIN. All tickets for minor passengers must be bought by an adult. Where the minor has no NIN, the minor passenger's ticket will reflect the NIN of the adult making the purchase. However, only the minor passenger's name will reflect on the ticket and will be verified during the ID check process. It is dangerous to use your name to purchase tickets for unknown persons. This may lead to criminal prosecution. Passengers are advised to conduct themselves orderly and avoid altercation with NRC and security officials, as defaulters will be duly prosecuted and severely punished. For NIN, simply dial *346# on your mobile phone and follow the prompts. This message is from the Nigerian Railway Corporation.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. We told you that Wike or Tom challenged President Buhari to name governors stealing local government funds. And Dogara and aggrieved Northern APC members adopt Atiku as candidate. And moving on, the federal government has expressed its plan to bring investment to different sectors of the economy to reduce Nigeria's reliance on debt. The Executive Secretary, Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, Saratu Umar, stated this while speaking to State House reporters after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The NIPC boss said the commission believed that once it was able to bring an investment to different sectors of the economy, the burden of debt will decline. She said the president, who supported the drive to strengthen the investment of Nigeria, also expressed his willingness to do the best he can to ensure the country's investment drive was given a lot of attraction.
As we do know, insecurity, of course, would kind of be of concern to any investor, but it's not really the major reason why investors would stay away. Of course, there are certain parts of Nigeria that are not really undergoing this issue. And for those ones that are not having the issue, we're trying to ensure we get investment to those sectors. And for those of them that are having the issue, we're trying to work doubly hard to see what's possible to still do within the situation we find ourselves. So the major takeaways is supporting the drive to strengthen the investment drive of Nigeria. And he's willing, within the time he's still here as president of Nigeria, to do the best he can to ensure the country's investment drive is given a lot of traction. So I'm very encouraged and I've been giving a lot of energy now to continue what we're doing at the Commission that would help the investment promotion drive of Nigeria.
And now to education matters. The Academic Staff Union of Universities and Nnamdi Azikiwe University chapter have staged a protest of unpaid salaries. They have protested within the school premises in Awka, the Anambra State capital. The report.
The protesting lecturers carried placards with different inscriptions around the school premises, chanting solidarity songs to express their displeasure. Students also supported the union and urged the federal government to do the needful. Addressing journalists, chairman of the union, Stephen Ofuaro, said weeks into their return to work after the 8-month strike due to intervention by the court, the government still refuses to honor the agreement and pay salaries arrears.
Some of them in power were given the opportunity to go abroad and study. Yes. Some of them, their parents are peasant farmers who cannot afford their education. But today they are in the position to make education free. But they are starving our lecturers, they are starving our students. When you starve a lecturer, you have starved a student.
Now we are asking that government must, as a matter of urgency, implement that agreement. We enter with government and then release the salaries of our members that have been withheld, because the work that we are not done when we are on strike are being done currently as we speak. We are going back to do the work we left before we went on strike, and we are doing the work.
Addressing the protesters, the Vice Chancellor, Charles Esimone, called on the government to, as a matter of urgency, pay up their salaries, as there could be consequences for the government's persistent negligence to the plight of the union.
And I commended them very strongly for their community, because people are spending hours, sleepless nights, teaching, trying to cover for the 8 months that was lost. Some in the process are down in health. A lot of people are falling sick now because of the pressure, trying to meet up with that work that we have not done. So we have not erred in any way. We have done our job and we're still doing our job. We are going to take this message to our employers, the governing council, so that they will in turn also make a strong statement to the government. The government need to consider the plight of all of us who are here. They need to consider the plight of academics in this nation. Whatever will be done to restore the dignity of academia is in the hands of our government, and I know they know what to do.
The university teachers are hopeful that the federal government will be, in the coming days, honor its agreement with the union and pay up the outstanding salaries.
And in business, chairman of the Ibadan Depot of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Bukola Mutiu, has blamed the scarcity of petroleum products and payment glitches associated with the procurement of fuel. He said this during a consultative meeting with labor leaders, where they resolved that the government should urgently intervene. Samson Adesubo sent in this report as presented from our studios.
The past few days have been most hectic for motorists and commuters across the country, who have had to once again have to bear the brunt of the scarcity of petroleum products. Worst hit are the masses, who have had to spend man-hours at the fuel dispensing stations and are unable to access the product. Despite Nigerians' enormous deposit of crude and other natural resources, the citizens are daily confronted with recurring scarcity of petroleum products. They are asking the federal government to be more proactive.
They sell for a high price. They sell for 280, 260, even 300. So it has really affected us. In fact, all our passengers, the way we don't carry the normal price again. And they complain a lot.
Man, it's hell now. Like yesterday, I bought 280. So I was going to office this morning. I've not even got to the office now at 11. I was supposed to resume by 8 o'clock. I got here around 7:30 to 8, and I'm still here by 11.
The one I bought from Abeokuta is 280 per liter. Okay. Where are we going? Where are we heading to? What causes the sudden problem? The sudden increase. I've been buying fuel now. It's like the fuel is even dry. Okay. Apart from dry, today 260, today 280. What is government doing about it?
The consultative meeting between independent marketers and labor leaders in Ibadan is a strategic attempt at finding a lasting solution to the lingering crisis. The independent marketers and labor leaders resolved that government should be more sensitive to the yearnings of the masses, who are mainly at the receiving end of the hardship. They want more functional refineries and increased investment in the downstream sector.
We are having shortage of supply because we have been denying of having direct payment to NNPC, remitter, portal that we normally requested and pay. For over 6 months now, none of the existing marketing companies that duly license with NNPC have been given any authority to pay.
I want to advise the federal government and tell them vehemently that whatever measure they have employed as regards to the restructuring happening in NNPC is not having human face. It's not having human face in the sense that it has added to the suffering on the masses. It's not helping anybody.
The call by Ipman and the NLC in Oyo State clearly show that the real truth behind the scarcity of petroleum product is still not clear.
And away from Nigeria, Uganda has discharged its last known Ebola patient from hospital. A senior health official said on Friday, raising hopes that an outbreak which has killed at least 56 people could be coming to an end. Officials first confirmed the outbreak in September and said it was the Sudan strain of the disease, which kills 40 to 60% of those it affects and for which there's no proven vaccine. Diana Atwin, a top official at the health ministry who announced the discharge on Twitter, said medics would continue to monitor people who had come into contact with infected patients until they have been clear for 21 days. She did not say when the last new case was confirmed, but the government imposed travel restrictions, an overnight curfew and short places of worship and entertainment in October to try and contain the outbreak in central Uganda, but several cases later appeared in the capital and east of the country. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.